Happy Good Friday, everyone, and welcome to the What a Little Bulls podcast. Your Friday just got even better. Episode 43 here with DJ and Simon. Simon, very welcome back, mate. How are you?
I'm very good. And yourself, DJ? How have you been?
No, living the dream, mate. You know how it is.
That's it.
Couple of weeks off there, mate, and a day later than normal, just to give everyone, like we said, a better Friday than the Good Friday that they're experiencing at the minute.
They're refreshed and ready to go for another episode.
Yep, absolutely. What have you been up to in the last couple of weeks anyway, mate? We've been pretty flat out.
Yeah, we have bit of bowls, platinum pennants started. We'll get back to that. Also,
This is why we're a bit later than normal, folks. There was a welfare check sent out for Simon, but we'll get into that.
we'll touch on that a little bit later. Sadly, I'm working this Easter weekend, so yeah, just having a bit of quiet time during the week here at the moment, catching up on a few things. Did manage.
It's good to see, mate, that you're filming upstairs and you're in the actual confines of your own home instead of the garage that you have been. So obviously, you've either got a permission slip off Ness or Ness isn't around.
I'm actually home alone this weekend.
Yeah.
They've chosen to fly up to Brisbane for the weekend while I'm at work, so yeah.
Cool.
I'm home alone, so I'm sitting at the dining table in the comforts of the lounge rather than in the garage.
So you are genuinely working, because I just thought you've used that for the last 5 or 6 years so you don't have to come play on my tournament with me. That's Terry Harm Repairs kicks off, folks. As you are listening to this, we're probably on the greens.
Yeah.
Every Easter.
One of the best tournaments going around every Easter. Sadly, I've not been able to get back up there in a while. But
avoiding it.
Yeah, work comes first, DJ. Work comes first.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, you're probably more chance of making money at work than you do playing bowls than me. So,
the way the weekend results went, you're probably right.
Yeah. Don't spoil it. All right, but what else have you been doing with yourself?
Well, funny history, DJ, something I want to mention to the listeners. I actually called in and I gave blood yesterday. So I want to give a shout out to the listeners out there. If you don't give blood and you're able to, jump on in. It was such an easy experience. Probably 45 minutes from I walked in the door and walked out. Plus, big plus, you get free snacks. That's the reason I go. Free snacks after. Fredo frogs. Brilliant.
Did you get free snacks on the weekend after you were bleeding there too? Or no, it wasn't blood, it was just bleeding shots, wasn't it? Anyway.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it, we're getting there. That's good, man. That's something I've never done. I did get a needle of my own this week, just a flu shot. The Club in the City puts the flu shot on for its employees every year, so I got that job this time around. Didn't feel sick after, it was good. But yeah, that was the only needle I had this week, mate. Righto. Elephant in the room, Simon.
Yeah.
I didn't hear from you for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Platinum Pennants has kicked off, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
You're very fortunate enough to be playing in this competition. How did the results go? Before we look at the main table, how did the results go for Tarrant Point?
Look, not that great. But I'm going to confess something to yourself and the listeners. I don't know if you've been tipped off. I hope you haven't been tipped off, because I want to see and hear your reaction.
Oh, no.
About something from the weekend.
Oh, no.
You haven't. It sounds like you haven't been tipped off, so that's good. I was expecting someone to send you a text message, but... So Saturday...
You need friends for that.
So Saturday, Tarrant Point versus Wenty Leagues, round 2.
Yeah.
Halfway through the game, but deliverable, confident. Delivered it through a wrong bias.
Oh, stop it! Oh, no!
Yeah.
You obviously didn't have your new bowls cloth. You didn't.
I did.
Oh, was that on the live stream? I gotta go back and look for that.
No, they didn't catch it. They didn't catch it on the live stream. And I was lucky because there was a rink in between the live stream and our rink, so it didn't affect the live stream rink.
I can't tell you how much you cheered me up. Oh, if only I'd have been there for it.
I threw it and I was like, oh shit. And I just wanted the green to open up and swallow me. Everyone had a right good laugh. I was like, oh no, I just didn't throw a wrong bias, did I? On a platinum pennant game.
As a podcaster, where the second off is keep the little disc on the inside. Oh, no wonder you went quiet for a couple of days. Oh, dear.
I was hoping you wouldn't get tipped off, so I was glad you didn't get tipped
No, I
off.
haven't been there.
Good.
No, I haven't.
That was good.
No, we've retired. Court was decent enough to text me and tell me that.
Yeah.
No, that's me by night, that one. Anyway, man, how'd the other 3 games, how'd they go?
3 games, 3 defeats, sadly. And
Yeah.
we are the strongest team in the league.
Strongest team in the league.
Bottom.
Holding everybody else up.
Yeah.
10 shots behind, or half a point and 10 shots behind Belarus. So, East Maitland Griffins give it to you up here in the Hunter Valley, mate.
They did. They got us in the first game. And yeah, look, playing on their carpet, obviously they're used to playing on their carpet. Tough to go up there, away game. And not a lot of our guys are used to playing on the carpet. But look, I thought they put up a really good fight. And yeah, they probably played some better shots over the night and probably deserved winners of that game, sadly. Moved on, like obviously first game, first defeat, and you go, okay, first game, let's move on. Saturday didn't really go our way either. I started off, I think the big board just kind of stretched out as the ends went on, and we were probably close enough, like within sort of 10, 15 shots most of the time, but we just couldn't get that string of end after end where you get a few rinks scoring 2s or 3s and you get that momentum to claw back the shots and then get a lead. So I think anytime we sort of got back within single figures on the big board, they managed to score across a couple of rinks and then just stretch that lead out again to 10, 15 shots. So we always felt like we were chasing the game and never in control of it. So disappointing there. At Wenny Leagues, we played on the grass. Funny, speaking to Cam Curtis, he's saying he's having a bit of issues with his carpet up there and they're going to have to redo some of it, I believe. So interesting there. But yeah, their grass played really well and no complaints about the green there. Yeah, sadly we came away losers again on the Saturday. So yeah, it was a disappointing Saturday night, coming home from Wenny Leagues and having to back up then to play Cabramatta, the inaugural winners from last year, the next morning, Sunday morning at Tarrant Point. So obviously, off the back of 2 defeats, you're trying to pick yourself up, step up and play against, arguably the best team in the league. Yeah, we came really close. We only got beat by 4 shots overall. So definitely came down to the last end, the last couple of ends. So I thought we put up a really good fight. And again, we were on the big board. We had 1 rink that was darn heavy. But on the big board, we clawed it back after probably being down 20 plus shots at one stage on the big board. Coming into the last few ends, we managed to get that momentum and have a few different rinks scoring 2s, 3s, and we clawed back that big board. And all of a sudden, whenever the momentum starts going with you, everyone gets a bit squeaky and a bit twitchy at times. And we thought we had that momentum to sneak a win at the end, but sadly not. Unfortunately, we needed 6 on the last end. It was our rank playing the last end, and we only scored 2, so down by 4 shots overall. But definitely a good-spirited fight back and something positive from the 3 defeats, really, that I think on the Sunday we did sort of fire up a bit more, and sort of as the weekend went along, we performed a little bit better. And that's something to take into the next game, round 4, that we have a tough game away at Warilla. They don't get any easier. Look, we went toe-to-toe with, probably one of the best teams in the league, and we got 2 rink wins, took 2 points from them, so probably 1 or 2 points more than what most people would have expected us to get, I think, from that game. So that's a positive out of it, really. So looking forward to heading down to Warilla on their carpet and see what we can give to Warilla.
Any panic stations over the weekend? Any drastic changes, or you stuck with the same 12, stuck with the same positions?
Well, unfortunately, for the next 2 games, we don't have Matty Flapper or fly-in.
Oh.
So we've got Christian Crocker, Welsh international. He's going to be stepping in for Matty Flapper. So it was good actually having Matty Flapper on board. That's the first time I've sort of played with him on any sort of team, and thought he's pretty impressive. We get a lot out of Matty Flapper, obviously. His career is phenomenal over the years and what he's played in, and yeah, it's good to have him on board.
That'd be a good one to get on here and have a chat, I suppose, too. So Christian Crocker, mate, probably not a household name out here in Australia, but another Welsh wizard playing for Tarrant Point.
Yeah, we're going to have two Welshmen playing for Tyrone Point, so yeah, we'll see. I wonder if they'll play together or not, up to the selectors and whether they'll put the two Welshmen together, but yeah, we'll have two big games next week. Sorry, not next week, 2 weeks' time, and yeah, see how we go.
Yeah, very good. As we said, we touched on Tyrone Point's awesome start to the season. I mean, you were looking for positives there, and I've got to tell you, like, you give us like another couple of positives. It is only early.
Yeah.
3 rounds out of 11. And the other one is the only way is up. All right. So, yeah, just keep that in the back of your mind, mate. Like, it can't get any worse. So,
no, it can't.
The only way is up for the Tyrone Point Scorchers. So, hopefully, you can scorch your way up the table, mate. But yeah, mate, we are up and running. The famous, infamous, whatever way you want to describe it, TAB Platinum Pennant. First weekend over, a triple header. So that was interesting in itself. I know from speaking to a few players up in Ballina, there was some not actually very keen on it, to be honest. Now, I didn't speak to every club representative, but there's a few up there sort of made their opinions, felt that 3 was a bit much in one weekend. So what do you think of that?
Yeah, look, we played away at East Maitland. So we had to travel from Sydney up to East Maitland, which is a good 2.5 hour drive, especially on a Friday traffic heading north up that motorway from Sydney. Everyone's getting out of Sydney pretty early. So a few of the guys, had to take a day off work. I myself just took a day off work because I couldn't guarantee if I was at work that I'd be able to leave in time to get up there to play the game. So yeah, that's something that sort of few people weren't too happy with, I know, from our point of view, from Tyrone Point's point of view. But look, we went up there, played 6 o'clock start. We weren't over until sort of 10 o'clock till we were leaving, and most of the guys just left straight after the game. And look, I didn't get back home again till I didn't walk in the door at 1 o'clock in the morning. You sort of getting to bed at 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, and then I had to leave again, pick one of the guys up at midday to head to Wendy Leagues then for a 2 o'clock start. So yeah, look, it was tough going travel wise, I think, for the first 2 games for us, and then back up again. Like, I think Wendy Leagues, that game wasn't over till 6, so I didn't get home to maybe 7, 8 o'clock at night, and then first thing in the morning for a 10 a.m. start at Tyrone Point. Lucky enough, we didn't have to travel anywhere on the Sunday, so pretty close to home. But anyway, it was a pretty tough going first weekend, and definitely felt sort of hadn't played really that much bowls really over one weekend in a long time. So body definitely felt it on Monday. Actually, I went to the physio as well on Wednesday. So
no tear.
Things were a bit stiff and sore. So yeah, look, I think I like the point of view that it's over and done in a short space of time. So you get that condensed feeling and everything's sort of one. If you spread it out, then it might wear a bit thin on people. Whereas if it's a shorter time, I think you might get people a bit more engaged throughout the whole length of the tournament, whether that be 6 weeks or whatever it may be. I think it was stretched out to 10, 12 weeks. I think it might wear off a bit on people. So look, I think from a playing point of view, yes, it's very condensed to have 3 games and you're traveling. If you get a couple of good draws and you're not traveling too much over 3 games over the weekend, then it's not too bad. But yeah, look, some of us will have it a bit easier than others, but that's the way the draw goes.
It is, mate. It is. Yep. So the coverage is back too. Live streaming on YouTube every weekend. 3 games. So it was last weekend, and they've got the hired help in again. I can't remember the name of the company, but they're not sponsoring this, so it doesn't matter. But they do have the professionals in with the cameras and stuff, and and then there's a lead commentator in there who I think's doing every game, Matty Harris.
Mm-hmm.
I think Matty's from the Monavale Club. I'm not 100% sure on that, but again, Matty's not sponsoring us, so I don't mind if I'm wrong. But yeah, Matty seems to be pretty good. He's pretty knowledgeable on the game. He done a fair bit of research on things. Like I sat down to watch the first game, and Cabramatta against St. John's Park, the Open Up, local derby. And he was able to tell us that Bryce Billington and Jamie Lee Worsthorpe actually went to school together.
Yeah, okay.
And here they are leading up against each other in the Platinum Pennant. And Bryce was in the Sydney Thunder as a bowler, bowling them down at 144 k's an hour type of thing.
Yeah, right.
So it's stuff like that was pretty good. I think I caught a glimpse as well. Like, I didn't watch every game, I'll be honest with you. The Cabramatta one against St. John's, the sound was a little bit off for the first 10, 15 minutes. It was a hard listen.
Yeah.
So it was. There was nearly too much of the ambient sound going through, but after that, I checked in on the scores now and again, and I thought Matty was doing a pretty good job. I'll be up there with him in a couple of weeks at Raymond Terrace. Maybe the first person that I struggle to get a word in with.
I think so.
Could be a battle for airtime there, but we'll see how we go. Never met Matty, so I might see if we can head up a bit earlier, get to know him for half an hour before we get on the mic and have a bit of go. But no, I mean, other than that, I think the coverage is pretty good. And St. John's Park also did 2 games on the weekend too with their own streams and stuff. Yep. Be interested to see if they take that on the road. I think they've got the capability for that. I don't know whether they'll want to take it on the road or whether Anthony Colley's got the time to go and do that. He's the cameraman, bowls guru down there, second best administrator in the state.
Master of everything.
Yeah, master of everything.
Good to see them doing that, because the more bowls content we get out there, the better it is for the sport. So, clubs doing that off their own back, fully support that. And yeah, it's good to see that Bowls New South Wales are letting them do that as well, as sort of running the competition and allowing St. John's Park to stream their own games as well. Stream games of the competition. That Bowls New South Wales aren't streaming. So it's good to see that they've given them that ability and allowed them to do that as well.
The only critical thing, and it's not much to be critical of, I don't like them streaming at the same time as the Bowls New South Wales coverage.
Yeah, yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I understand that's why they're doing. They've probably done it after the draws come out and they thought, let's do it.
Yeah.
Them 2 games starting at different times would have been good, but it was such a dramatic finish as well for the Warilla game against St. John's at St. John's.
Yeah.
And then, the game that they did stream at the same time as Bowls New South Wales, I think they were regretting it too after going down to Engadine. But I'll just fire them up again. But at least my tip for them not making top 5 is going all right at the minute. So we'll see. There we go. You're not saying anything, are you?
Nah. I threw a wrong pass at the weekend, so I can't.
You threw a wrong pass at the weekend, didn't win a game. But anyway, yeah. So as we go, Engadine Cougars flying high, leading the way. 3 wins from 3, 28 points. So they've only dropped the 2 ranks over 3 games. Fantastic start for Engadine. Oh, they're always going to be a good side. They're going to be a solid side. Fantastic start, but if they can maintain that, they'll surely make top 5. Yep. Maryland's Magic. They had a tight one, I think, with East Maitland. Only got up by 6 shots, I think, in the end. But they're 3 from 3, 26.5 points, half a point behind Cabramatta. Then Warilla, 4 points behind that. After that, 2 wins and a draw. East Maitland are in the top 5 at the minute, but I don't see that staying that way. We hope it doesn't anyway. Wenty Leagues, mate. Bit of a surprise package for me, but I suppose maybe not for them. Well, 2 wins.
Yeah, they managed to beat us, and then they beat Mount Lewis over the weekend as well, which is a bit of a surprise too. So, yeah, I think
certainly hasn't helped my tips.
Yeah, that's maybe a bit of a surprise up there, sitting in the 6th spot. So,
how's your tipping comp going?
We're not allowed to tip because
no, you're not allowed to. But clearly, you're in it, mate. You can't have 3 losses again and tell me you didn't tip against yourself. Little accusation being thrown out there.
I definitely wouldn't have tipped 3 losses, so yeah, I wouldn't have been going too good.
Well, I didn't tip for 3 losses, but I did get 2 right against you guys. Raymond Terrace, 1 win out of 3 so far. I don't think many people would have taken that early doors.
No.
Carlingford with the 1 win. St. John's Park not to get a win on the board yet, but they do have that 1 draw with Warilla. Mount Lewis not to get a win on the board yet.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise there from Mount Lewis, sitting 3rd from the bottom. So
it is, but I think it was you said on the other podcast that they can be a bit of a volatile group. So we'll see whether they stick together. Was it you said that, or was it?
That definitely wasn't me.
Definitely
wasn't me.
Yeah, right. So it was interesting to watch that one. How to go there only on the 4 points after 3 games, and then Belrose down there with 3 losses, and Tarrant Point down there with 3 losses from 3 games. So all to play for next round. So the next round is going to be played on Saturday the 26th. East's hosting the Cougars. Belrose hosting Wenty. Mount Lewis against the Raymond Terrace Jets, and that's the feature game on the YouTube channel, 2:30. Carlow against Cabramatta. Club Marylands against St. John's. Massive one at 6 o'clock on the Saturday night. And Warilla Gorillas, 6 o'clock on the Saturday night on their home paddock against the Tarrant Point Scorchers. I nearly called you the Perth Scorchers. But it's going to take a bit of getting used to that, Point Scorchers. But yeah, that's the next round, and it's a doubleheader that weekend, Simon, is it?
It is indeed, yeah. There's another game then on this Sunday.
Yep, so that'll be the round 5 game.
Yep.
Which is, if my mouse will work. So that'll be the round 5 game, which will see Cabramatta at home to Belrose, Carlingford at home to Marylands, East Maitland at home to Mount Lewis. St. John's at home to Wenty. Tarrant Point at home to Engadine. And Warilla at home to Raymond Terrace. Oh, 2 home games in a row for Warilla. That'll set them up pretty well. We're going to be hard to beat on that carpet.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just touching on Warilla too, and on that carpet. You see the major singles final was played yesterday?
That was live streamed. I did see a little bit of that, yeah. Our good friend Gaza came out victorious.
He did. I'm not sure it's our good friend Gary anymore. He's a bit of a different fella. He's done well with the weight loss, hasn't he?
He's half the man he used to be, yeah.
Yeah, we played him up at state championships, mate. Oh, he's still the same. He's still the same fella. Don't you worry about that. Just there's only a third of him left, but now well done to Gaz doing that. And he took out the major singles at Warilla as well, beating Teasy in the final.
Yep,
not bad. That's your major singles final, mate, is it?
Not bad indeed, aren't
very World Championship final, but yeah, that's pretty blessed in that Warilla to get to see those guys playing on the carpet, lighting it up as well. So anyway, that's Platinum Pennant review and preview onto next week. So moving on, Nate, what else do we have going? We've had quite a long. It's been 3 weeks since we've done this. So
you've been up at you were up at state championships, right? You were playing in the fours. How did you go?
Well, I mean, it was a battle. We had a pretty difficult section with 2 close losses, and then we got through on that live stream rink, which from what I've been told was the most commented on live stream they've ever seen.
No,
I had a few people come up to check I was okay after, because apparently the commentators were giving me a fair bit. Old Jason Pinnock and Nick Hind. But I got to be honest with you, I was sitting side by side and heard everything, and I was giving as good as I got, so don't worry about that. Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's always good to get to go to the state championships. That's your target every year to get up there. It would have been nice to go a bit further, but like we went down by 3 shots to Warilla with Gary there, and then went down by 4 against Port City, and then we managed to get up in the last game against Walger, who still had a half a chance as well going through after they beat Port City. Just a couple of things didn't go our way. I think between the 4 of us, we didn't click really well at any one time. To get us away. It was just a bit, like I said, it was just a bit of a battle. Three greens that we played on, all different paces. But if you couldn't play on them, you can't play, really. Like they've done a terrific job. I mean, like Terry Shane and his team up there put on an awesome show, so they did. Like they put a lot of money into that. So they did, and I hope they got a decent return out of it. Like I don't think they're going to make too much money back on it, but as long as they get their money back, I think that's what you want to see the clubs doing, and having those people showcasing your club.
Yeah.
Olsenville helped out as well, and then Club Lennox, which is also owned by Cherry Street. So it's just a beautiful part of the world up there, man, isn't it? I've never really spent too much time up there, but it is a very nice part of the world.
It was a big couple of weeks up there for them, and yeah, there's a lot of bowlers heading up that way, and obviously a lot of the ones travelling from Sydney up here, and we had a few from our club head up that way as well, and go up that direction. So they all said, it was really run well, and it was a good show that they put on up there. So glad to see it went successfully, and
it did.
Yeah, unfortunately, the guys didn't make it through, but
no, and the streaming was really good. I thought too, mate. The circulated around the Bulls who said real staff put a lot of effort in. Jason Pinnock obviously isn't actually employed by them, but he came over and helped out as well. He's with Bulls Australia. He came over because he was a local there, so over from Yamba. So well done to all them. But yeah, like even just all the staff at Cherry Stream, just very pleasant as well. Like I'm sure we got up there right at the end of it. There's always the risk that at the end of it, with all those people through the doors all the time, you're getting not a great attitude.
Yeah,
they were getting a bit fed up by the end of it. They could see the finish line, but no, they were absolutely brilliant. So no, it was really good. But I think they're going to alternate now with double for a couple of years.
Okay,
so it's going to go back to double. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's already been announced to double. It's going to go back to double next year, and then back up to Cherry Street Sports and Ballina the year after, hopefully as well. So I might sit this year out and then try and go back up, because double's a bit cooler that time of year. We'll see how we go. But man, I think we'll touch a bit more on that next week, because we've got a big one. We're going to do 2 weeks in a row for the first time in a while, aren't we?
We are, yep.
So we'll touch a bit more on that one next week, and we'll touch a bit more on the Victorian winners down in the Victorian State Championships, which were held at a similar time. But there is one particular lady we'd like to talk about this week. You've got the stats there in front of her, in front of you, sorry, and you've known her for a while, and she's down there now at the Clayton Club in Victoria with her partner Ali.
Yeah,
so all the way from Canada, Kelly McCarran.
Yeah, it was definitely the Kelly McCarran show down at the Victorian State Championships. Obviously, I know Kelly through Ali. She's a partner of Ali Forsyth, and obviously when Ali was at Tarrant Point for many years, and I lived with Ali, house shared with Ali. Know Kelly very well, and she managed to come through with plenty of gold from Victorian State Championships, and hopefully I'm gonna send her a message and see if we can get her on the podcast and talk through what exactly she achieved.
Yeah,
and also talk about obviously her career as well as playing for Canada, and she's played in World Championships and Commonwealth Games and been very successful over the years. So.
And lives with Ali Forsyth, which is a feat in itself. You
He's a medal, yeah, definitely.
He's a good contrast there.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, she's some of the stats I seen. Did you see some of the stats that she played over the state championships?
I did, mate, but I'll give you the spotlight here. I'll let you read it out.
Unbelievable. So, what she won the women's fours, she won the women's triples, she won the women's singles, she won the mixed pairs. She came runner-up in the Champion of Champions, which I think is singles. I didn't see that one here, but I think it's singles.
Yeah.
And she was part of the VIC Shield, so that's the winning region they do down in Victoria. We don't do in New South Wales. But they posted some stats on over all those matches that she played. Obviously, she was in a lot of events. So she played 8 of the 9 days of the championships. So she's only 1 day off. She played 8 days. Really, she played about 4 games a day, roughly.
Ooh.
And during that, she played over 400 ends. She delivered over 1,600 bowls.
Oof.
Which is not including dead ends.
Yep.
Across 20 matches. So, to put that into perspective, if she played like a normal what they play 14-week home and away Pennants season down there, you'd only play a total of 644 bowls. She played 1,600 in 8 days.
So nearly 3 Pennant seasons.
So nearly 3 Pennant season in 8 days she played delivering bowls.
That's it's interesting when you look at it that way, isn't it?
Isn't it? Ali must still be giving a few massages like, oh my God, her legs must be killing her. Achilles, calves, hamstrings. Ali must have sore hands, eh?
I don't know. He was up here playing for East Maitland, wasn't he?
He was.
I think he missed the first game. He was in his contract. Was it in his contract he wasn't allowed to play against Tarrant Point?
It must have been because he didn't play on Friday.
It had nothing to do with him winning the mixed pairs that night and coming up the next day. No, and just didn't want to play against Tarrant Point.
Just didn't want to play against Tarrant Point.
Yeah.
So, like unbelievable to do that. And not only play that amount of games and deliver that amount of bowls, but to win, as well. To come through successful and win all those games and, singles, triples, fours. She nearly got the Grand Slam, not in the pairs, but she got the mixed pairs, so she nearly did get a little bit of a Grand Slam. So, unbelievable achievement. And we'd love to hopefully get her on here and have a chat to her about those successes that she had down there at the VIC State Championships.
Absolutely. That's no mean feat winning all those championships, mate. It's a lot of, you were talking there about the physical stuff, but just the mental stuff to get through all that too. Like, get yourself up every day, ready to go again. Makes it a bit easier when you are winning, but fantastic achievement, so it was. Right, mate. So I had just there yesterday, as you know, I had a bit of a flying visit up there to Club Helensvale to have a look at facilities up there. You can compare and contrast what we're going to be doing in Club Mailton City. Kelsey Cotterill, synonymous up there, mate. She wasn't there because she's on the plane on the way to the UK, mate, because the World Indoor Championships has been held. But in Aberdeen, it's going to kick off on the 20th, so we'll be able to look at that a bit more next week too. The Australian representatives are Jack McShane and Kelsey Cotterill.
Yep.
Who else have we got? So there's people there from Botswana, Canada, Cyprus, England, Dominic McVitie and Emily Kernick, 2 names that really aren't familiar in the World Bowls.
Yep.
Falkland Islands have got a male representative. France have got 2 there. Patrick Piquet and Cindy Royer. Guernsey, Ian Merrin, Alison Merrin, Membe, so we know all of them. Hong Kong, China. Hungary's got a male representative. Ireland, you've got Andrew Kyle and Zoe Manish. Isle of Man there. Israel, Boaz Marcus, he's been around for a long time. Jamaica's got
We haven't got our mate, Ralph from the.
I'm moving down there. I'm spoiling it. We'll see in a minute. Jamaica have got a men and women's representative.
No way.
So they do. Robert Simpson and Maureen Caesar. That's the, I think Robert, it could be Robert, but I'm not 100% sure. But I remember seeing it starting up a while back. He called them the Reggae Rollers. And I was a fella, he lives in London now and he plays bowls.
Yeah.
And he went and set it all up. So, and he's been to the Commonwealth Games and everything. He just set it up himself because he was Jamaican and he just loved the game. You know what it's like, man. When you first get into it, this is an infectious sport. It's one of the best things about it. And people do get addicted to it early. But yeah, they've had Commonwealth Games representatives and everything. Yeah, the Reggae Rollers.
Reggae Rollers.
Reggae Rollers. You have to look them up, mate. Japan, Jersey, Macau, China, Malaysia. Oh, Malaysia got a couple of representatives. Defending champion, that's why. So we do. Malta, Namibia, Netherlands. Only one representative, and it's a man. It's not Ralph.
Oh, Ralph.
Jan Cinema. Or Jan Cinema. I don't know. I don't want to offend them by saying the names wrong again, but no, Ralph's not there, mate.
Well, if anyone hasn't, Ralph, we interviewed Ralph way back, quite a few episodes ago, and he sort of talked a bit about bowls in the Netherlands. So, good episode. If you haven't listened to it, or if you're new to us, jump back there and have a listen to Ralph.
Still going. New Zealand, Norfolk Island, Pakistan, Scotland. There's a couple of favourites there. Sturdy Anderson.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa, it's going to be hard to beat that one.
Yeah.
South Africa, Spain. Pete Bonzer and Lisa Bonzer. Known very well on the south coast around the Illawarra region.
Yep.
Sweden. I've got a representative. Switzerland, Turkey, USA, and Wales with Ross Owen and Lauren Gowan. Anyway, that's our lineup, mate. They kick off on the 20th. They play mixed pairs and they play men's singles and women's singles. That's the one Razor was in sort of this time last year. So
it was indeed, yeah.
Good luck to Jack and Kelsey over there. 20th to the 25th of April, you'll be able to follow all those results on the World Bowls website, and we'll give you a rundown next week of how things are going when we have another chat on the podcast.
Just quickly, moving outside lawn bowls.
Yeah.
DJ, from our neck of the woods, managed to finally get the Grand Slam in golf.
And his first green jacket.
Rory McIlroy.
Did you watch it?
Nah, I didn't see it.
Oh, mate, what are you... Have you got any passion at all? Are you just full Aussie now?
But I did watch some of the highlights.
What's that?
I did watch some of the highlights.
Oh, you watched the highlights. Yeah, that's right. You knew the result before you watched the highlights?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same thing, mate.
I know it's not.
Yeah, I got a bit of a ribbon at work, so like I was sitting watching it, and there wasn't a lot done that first morning.
Yeah.
So I was going to get in trouble here. For some reason, I had scheduled for a guy to come in and look at the epoxy floor of the kitchen at 8 a.m. It was not ideal timing. But anyway, we were then meant to go over and look at the motel, and I must have palmed that off and said, oh, mate, no, we'll do that one another time. I've got to go get my head around that one. Straight back into the sports bar.
He'll watch the Masters.
Oh, mate, it was... Oh,
good! It's good to see someone from our small neck of the woods. Good old Northern Ireland on the world stage.
Rory's had a reputation over the years, especially of his off-green antics, especially when he was younger. Mm-hmm. So he was, and we know all that from like we don't come from a big country. You hear all the stories. He used to come in the area around Sports Centre now again when I was working too, when he was back at home. No, I mean, it's just good for our nation to see that, isn't it? Like, we had a real purple patch there with Graham McDowell and Darren Clark and Rory all winning similar times. And then we've had that. It's been 11 years. It's been 11 years since Rory won a major. And it's been 14 years since he had that breakdown at the Masters when he could have won it.
Yeah.
And you could just tell every year, like one commentator summed it up. He said, there's not a monkey on his back. There is a family of gorillas have just been lifted off his back.
Yeah.
Because everyone was just like, he won his first major, and the first question he was asked in the press conference was, are you going to break Jack's record? Which is 18 majors or something like that there, which Tiger couldn't even do.
Yeah.
So just to have that pressure, there's always been questions about his mental toughness. He's won everything in the game. He's got so close every time. So I've woke up thinking, right, let's have a look. And he was 14 under, 4 ahead. I'm thinking, I'm watching this.
Yeah.
And I think I scouted it because it just went...
It went a bit pear-shaped, didn't it?
It started to go pear-shaped. And then he played that shot on the 17th, and I just thought, he's got it now. And then he went down again, and then he played the shot on the 17th. I'm thinking, this is his. And then he missed that 3-footer, and I'm just thinking, you can't, like, I thought the US Open for him last year was bad enough. The way he lost that to Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah.
I thought that was bad. If he had lost that Masters, he gets so close and lose it on a last hole playoff. I don't know how he comes back from that.
Soul destroying, wasn't it? Really,
it was on a knife edge. Like it's one of those ones where, like we said, there's always been that question of his mental toughness. You could see, there's no doubt, and he's admitted to it. There's been cracks there, here or there. If he loses that playoff after being so close, I don't know if he comes back from it. But now that he's done it, this could be anything this year.
Yeah, kick on.
So, like, I mean, no golf expert at all. Love the sport. No golf expert at all. I can hack it around, but the next championship's in a month's time, and it's at Quail Hollow, which is synonymous with Rory McIlroy. Always goes well there. That could be anything. The British Open is at Royal Portrush, where he set the course record of 61 as a 15-year-old amateur. And from what I can gather, that will never be broken. I think there's been a few course redesigns since then, but that's a 15, so he knows the course. He'll want to make up for that too, because last time it was there, Shane Lowry won it. Rory bottled it and did not make the cut.
Yeah.
So you've got that. And then the last 2 US Opens, he's finished runner-up. In fact, the last 4 or 5, he's finished top 10. So he loves the US Open. I mean, it could be absolutely anything this year.
Yeah.
Now that he's freed that all up.
We're off a bit of a tangent on the golf, so if there's anyone listening that doesn't really like golf, sorry. But bringing it back to lawn bowls, it gives you a bit of inspiration that, he's went that long without sort of winning that major. To take it into your bowls world, whether it's a club championship you're trying to win, it's a region or a state title or whatever.
Or Platinum Henning.
Or Platinum Henning. Yes. It's never too late. And as much as you might think, it's never going to happen, if Rory McIlroy had taken that attitude, it probably wouldn't have happened. So obviously his mental toughness and his attitude towards his game, obviously he's a professional golfer. The vast majority of us are not professional lawn bowlers, but you still got to take that mentality. If you want to win something, you really, really, really want to win it, you got to take that mentality that it will happen someday and put every effort into that and your practice and training and everything that's required. And obviously that's what he's done from a golfing perspective. And
I had a good read of an article made that talked to the sports psychologist that he used leading into the Masters. And funny enough, now you say linking that back, I was sort of linking it back to a couple of things, because I think everyone's seen on the live stream, I'm struggling with a bit of the yips at the minute on a particular hand. I've been for a while. But one of the things he said, because there was a big article obviously a lot of attention on Bryson's interview after the thing where he said Rory didn't talk to him. And Rory's not come up and said anything about that. And everyone straight away goes, PGA Live. Yeah. But there's also videos doing the rounds of where they're at meet and greet days, and the two of them are there, and they have a laugh and a joke with each other. Like, someone asked Rory one time, who would you like to play next? Bryson stand next to you. He goes, well, I'd like to play Bryson after what he did to me at the US Open. Bryson's response straight away, you kind of did it to yourself. So they get on off the green, off the course. But the sports psychologist said, no, that was our game plan this week.
Was not to speak.
The game plan was, you don't talk to anyone, you focus on you. You know your game's good enough to get you to that final where you want to be. It's up to you to go and do it. And the response then, and they were working on the responses, if you hit a bad shot, you make sure your next shot's the best you've ever hit.
Okay.
Which that's where you link it back to goals. If you've played a bad shot, too many people dwell on it. I know, for instance, I'm fairly doing that at the minute. You play a bad one, the world's ending. Yeah. But you got to make your next shot the best shot. Yeah. Best you've ever played.
Good point. Yeah. I was going to ask you about your, obviously, lead up to the state championships. You'd said to me that, you weren't coming out too good, didn't feel that confident. And I guess from a bull's perspective, like as you're saying, sports psychology and not what Rory did on the golf course and not speaking to someone because he was totally focused. And I've seen it a little bit at Platinum Pennants over the weekend, where you've got players and obviously you've got fly-ins and players from different states. And like we had on the Friday night, Chris Razans was playing for us as a fly-in, but his clubmate at Pine Rivers was playing for East Maitland. So it was really, he said it was so surreal that his clubmate from Queensland, and they were both playing against each other in New South Wales. So it's hard, I think, to really nail down that focus and not have that, I'm going to have a chat, or I'll say hello, I'll do all this, and be sort of friendly and nice. And maybe that's something that players need to look at within their game, that maybe if you're going out on a Saturday playing Pennants or whenever it may be, that maybe you're not totally focused on your game. And maybe that's something that a point that you can sort of maybe look at and see that take that Rory McIlroy attitude and, okay, I'm here and I'm totally focused from end 1 to end 21. Yeah. I'm not going to sit and have a chat to the opposition. I'm not going to ask him what he's been up to or what he does for work or whatever it may be. I'm not here for a chat. I'm here to win a game of bowls. And that might be something that listeners out there, you might be able to take from our conversation here and sort of looking at Rory McIlroy and what he achieved. Maybe that's a little coaching tip that we can take into. Maybe that's something that, looking at my game as well from the weekend that I could, there's a few players that I know over the years playing against on the other teams. And had a chat to them and all the rest. Maybe that's where I lost focus and ended up playing the wrong bias. Who knows? But yeah, something that maybe we can all take from Rory McIlroy winning the Masters.
Just sticking on the bowls there too, mate. And another Northern Irish person voted the GOAT of women's bowls last year on the podcast. If you haven't listened to, go back and listen. Margaret Johnson.
Yes.
I remember talking to, I'm pretty sure it was Margaret directly, or else I played a lot of bowls with Margaret's son. But she used to be one for that. And she'd be at World Championships. And she'd get criticised for being very grumpy on the green. It's very easy, mate. You go out and play against someone, they play a good shot, you tap the leg or you say, well played. Yeah. She would never do that.
Yeah.
And then she was asked one time, you're always cranky. Like, why do you just applaud a good bowl? She goes, they're supposed to do that against me. If they want to beat me, they're supposed to do that. Why do I need to acknowledge it? It's up to me then to get better than that. And I thought, that's a pretty fair comment.
Yeah.
And given that she was voted the greatest women player of all time on a very influential podcast, I said, perhaps we could listen to that one as well, mate. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot out there. And you know yourself, mate, there's plenty of help out there too for those types of things. Like Rory McIlroy's not immune to it. He's tried a few I'm sure he's kept a few in the job over the years with all these, like I said, the gorillas on the back.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's ways around it. And that's the thing about the sport. That's what separates us from platinum to grade 7. Everyone can draw a side rest and touch it. The consistency is being able to do that. And the consistency, yes, it is in your delivery and be able to recreate that all the time, but it's in your head.
Absolutely.
85 to 90% in your head.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And that's definitely the higher you go up the ranks in terms of grades and ability or talent or whatever it might be, that it becomes more and more in your head rather than technical ability or delivery of a bowl, most definitely.
Some more good news announced yesterday, mate, that you threw my way. Bowls International, the magazine everyone loves to read. 7 nations wanting to host the next Commonwealth Games.
Yes. We've got countries that are keen to host the Commonwealth Games.
Awesome.
And hopefully not be like Victoria and bomb out at the last minute.
Yeah. Getting political, especially with the voting coming up soon, eh? The elections. Good on you, mate. But no, that's good, mate. Everyone's still on tenterhooks for the Commonwealth Games. I know Glasgow's sort of saved it for next year. But yeah, it'll just be interesting to see how it goes. The cost of it is obviously a big concern. And a lot of the nations in the Commonwealth aren't renowned for being the wealthiest. They can't exactly host all of it all the time and spend millions and billions of dollars on infrastructure. So hopefully they work out a way that maybe they can have a co-host of 3 or 4 of them countries, just as long as we keep that Commonwealth Games, especially for our sport. That's one of the main things.
Yeah, it's a major event within the Bowls calendar. And yeah, just glad to see that there's definitely a few expressions of interest from a few countries. It's not just 1 or 2. There's a few that put their hands up and said, yeah, we'd be keen to have a look at hosting that next Commonwealth Games after Glasgow.
Yeah, nice. So obviously, mate, good news there with the Commonwealth Games, like we said. Some more good news for us. And the reason why we're going to go back-to-back weeks is that we've signed the agreement. The ink's settled, the ink's dried, and we have a platinum partner for the podcast, which we will be announcing next week. Someone's listened to us, have seen our potential, and decided to invest. So keep an ear out over the coming weeks for some interesting posts about who they are, what they do. We will announce that at the start of the next week's podcast. So Tune in, everyone. We're very excited that someone is willing to back us like that, because we know how good we are.
Absolutely.
It's just nice that people out there believe in us as well, mate. Yep. So, yeah, that'll be a good one to tune in for next week, folks. But with that as well, we'll give you more in-depth next week on New South Wales State Championships, like we said, Victorian State Championships, and hopefully, like we said, the World Indoors will be well underway by then. Hopefully by the time we record, it's towards the end of that, and we'll give you a rundown and see how the Aussies, the Irish, and the Scots and all of them are going. But, mate, as always, we're about to sign off. And in particular for Simon this week.
Yeah.
For everyone that's playing, just remember. Simon, talk us through it again before. What happened? Talk me through this again before we sign off. Talk us through this wrong bias.
Honestly, I can't remember the last time I threw a wrong bias. I really can't. I've been playing. I'm coming on 39 this year.
Yep.
I've been playing from the age of 12.
Yep.
And after it happened, I was like, I can't even remember the last time I threw a wrong bias. And you know the way sometimes back in the day, especially when we played juniors, guys would swap the stickers. And it happened all the time. And yet, that didn't even happen to me. Must have been one that I was targeted back in the day as a junior to swap the stickers, but I can't even remember the last time I threw one. So I reckon that's probably only maybe the second time, third time, maybe max ever that I've threw a wrong bias. And to happen in Australia and to happen at the highest level of club competition in the state. I was walking down. So I was at the head. I was playing third, and I was at the head discussing what shot we were playing. Yeah, I had a shot in my head. What I was playing forehand. Was walking down to the mat, picked up my ball for the forehand, ready to go, and Chris Rozan's a skip. I was like, nah, we'll play here, get one to here, and I was on the backhand. So I just threw it. Didn't swap it over.
Well, that's poor skipping, Simon, because if he's discussed a shot with you and said forehand, and you've walked all the way to the mat and he's changed his mind, that's bad skipping, Simon. So should we put the blame on Chris?
Nah, he can't.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is 100% on you, big fella. No stickers were changed. You're on a podcast. You just printed out new bowls cloth that says on one side of it what I'm about to say now. Remember, folks, keep that little disc on the inside, or you'll throw a wrong bias like Simon Little.
I hope you don't, guys. Just keep it on the inside.
If you do, we'd like to hear about it. That's all, folks. Thanks again this week. We'll see you next week on the What a Load of Bulls podcast. And as always, keep that little disc on the inside.
And good luck in those greens. The views, information, or opinions expressed during What a Load of Bulls podcast episodes are solely those of the individuals involved and do not represent those of any group, organization, or employer associated or affiliated to individuals. This podcast is for general information purposes only, to educate and inform. This podcast does not constitute professional advice or services. What a Load of Bulls does not guarantee the accuracy or reliability of any opinions expressed or statements made within episodes.